Hi Newfield artists. So today we're going to be making a nice paper flower, and I'm going to show you how you can easily do it with some basic paper plates. Of course, you could just use regular paper, cut some circles out the same size, and then we'll be starting at the same place. So I actually tried to do this video and finished it, and then everything got lost, but that's okay. So that's why I'm just showing you from this step here. So what I did was I just cut out with 4 paper plates, and I cut out 4 different sized flowers, and they're going to become layers for one big flower. So I did one that was pretty large, and I already added color, so you can just pretend that this is blank, but I have a pretty big one, so I just cut out some little petals here. I have one that's a little bit smaller than that. I have a third one that's a little bit smaller than that one, and I have a fourth one that's even smaller. So just getting the sizes about here, just going in order. You want to have 4 of them. Go from really big to pretty small, somewhere around those sizes. And what I actually did was I decided to do 2 more. So I did an even smaller one and one more even smaller. So that is a total of 6 that I did. You can just do the 4 and that's fine, but it's up to you. You could even do more than 6. But that's what I'm going for. So I'm actually drawing some inspiration here from my garden outside, and I have some flowers. These are growing. I'm trying to get the color for you. Oh, there we go. So those are outside where I live. I planted them a year ago, and they just started to bloom. Those are called peonies, and I'm going to be making my flower look kind of like those. So the next thing you're going to be doing is piecing them together. And I have a stapler here because that's, you can of course use glue, but I think it's easier just to use a stapler for this part. I'm going to lay down the largest layer first, so that's going to be at the bottom. Then I'm going to place the next largest one on top of that, and then go from there in order. So the number 3 goes on top of that one, number 4, and then I have my last 2 here. So there's number 5, and there's number 6. So I'm actually, just because I know that I'm using the stapler, I'm going to leave those last 2 off, and I'm just going to slide the stapler in, and I'm going to be making doing 4 staples, so kind of going around. There's 1, 2, 3. So that's all attached now, and my staples kind of go around in a circle. And something that I did, and now that it's pretty much dry, so I used watercolor paint. I used one color here. I used the red, and I left some of it white. So I really just worked with my water and my brush, and I just kind of I applied the paint just in certain areas to get this nice effect here. And once it is dry, so now it's dry, you can take a pencil or a marker, anything you have, and you can kind of roll up the petals so that you get a nice, you really see those layers coming through, and it kind of, you're going to get it to look even more realistic here. So I'm going to go around, do this as I speed it up a little. Okay, so I also curled the ends of the petals of my smaller 2 pieces here, and now I'm just going to take a glue stick. You could use regular glue also, and I'm just going to be putting them right in the center here. So I'm just putting some glue right on the back. smallest one, so this is my number 6, 6th layer. And I'm putting a picture of my flowers from the garden too in the slides, so you could really get a good look at those and just really see how many layers there are. There's so many. It's just a beautiful flower. Kind of open up from the middle there. All right, I'm really happy with how this is looking. And of course you could be done at this point, but I did end up cutting out a few, 4 pieces here. These are going to be some leaves, and I really just did almost like, sort of like an oval shape, but I have it come to a point, and I made 4 of them. I should say more of a triangle shape, because I did use the plate, so that's sort of what I ended up with. And I can kind of arrange them around underneath the flower, just to show some green leaves coming out from around there. And so before I attach those, I just want to add some color, and I'm going to stick with my watercolor paints. But of course, like you said, you can definitely use markers, you can use crayons, colored pencils, anything goes that you have. Could even be interesting if you do some marker and then brush some water on that, and that'll give you the same watercolor effect here. So if you don't have paints, you could do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and add some green. Okay, and the final thing to do is just to attach the leaves, and I think I'm going to do that with a stapler, and of course you can use glue either way. So I'm just going to be attaching it underneath here. Slide this under. Okay, so here is my flower made from paper plates, and I really like how it turned out. Definitely look at the slides, and there are some other ways that you could go about this. Adding in, you can cut out maybe some circles from colored paper, maybe even using a hole puncher, and glue those into the center to add some different colors in there. So have fun with this. You can add as many layers as you'd like to your flower, and be creative with the colors you use. It does not have to look just like this. Maybe you can be inspired by a flower you have around your house outside, or just any flower that you like. So have fun, and we'll see you later.